Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we're going to take you on a full tour of the Myrtle Beach State Park. The Myrtle Beach State Park is a hidden gem. It's just south of the main strip in Myrtle Beach. As you can see, it is a beautiful oasis if you are looking to get away from the crowds and have a nice, peaceful, natural area, but it's still oceanfront. You still got beaches. They've also got campgrounds, RV parking, all kinds of options. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We're so glad to have you as always. So we are just drove in the entrance. It's right off of Kings Highway, also known as 17 Business. Like I said, it's just south of the main strip of Myrtle Beach. So if you go to the end of Ocean Boulevard and then get on Kings Highway at the south end, you will come to the Myrtle Beach State Park. It's very shortly after that. So we're going to cover admission. We're going to talk about the hours. We're also going to talk about a new paid parking option that is not included in admission. We're also going to talk about issues with crowds and that kind of thing, and what kind of preparations you want to make if you're coming here during the busy season. So as you can see, we're driving in. During certain peak times when it's busy, they have a lane open to the left of us for people that have annual passes. If you come to Myrtle Beach several times a year and you enjoy the state parks, I do recommend getting an annual pass because it's about $99. The price could change, of course. Good for a year, and it's good for all South Carolina state parks, not just the Myrtle Beach State Park. And there's another one very close here, which is Huntington Beach State Park. Just past where you either pay to get in or where you show your pass, depending on your situation, we have the park office on the right. So if you are camping or RVing, this is where you're going to check in right here. And check-in is at 4 p.m. for the cabins. I assume it's the same for the campsites, but you can check their website for details. They do have 6 cabins here that you can rent. Here's a great parking lot if you're going to the nature center. They do have a great nature center here. It's not big, but they have a lot of activities for kids especially. They have some reptiles and other animals to look at. There's the entrance to one of the trails. They have several trails here. They are not super long, but they are beautiful. They also have several shelters like that one on the left that you can rent. You can rent those for like a family reunion or birthday party or celebration. But they also have a bunch of picnic tables like these to the left that are just first come, first served. And there are some barbecue pits there and that kind of thing. So we're going to go up here and show you the pier area first. And then we're going to circle around and show you the campgrounds. And like I said, we're also going to show you the area where there's going to be new reserved parking that you have to pay for, but that is optional. The rest of the parking is going to be first come, first served. So this building over here on the right is the gift shop, and also it's like a tackle and bait shop for the fishing pier, and the fishing pier is right behind it. We are going to get out of the car and walk on the pier, so we'll show you that. In the meantime, we're going to go over here. So this parking over here is not going to be reserved, so you can still park over here. It's going to be, like I said, first come, first serve. There are tons of beach accesses. There's a boardwalk here you can see that person walking on. And so there's also bathrooms scattered throughout the state park, and these are proper bathrooms with flushing toilets. So these are not, your porta pot style. So that right over there to the left is a bathroom, and right behind it is a children's playground. There is also a playground in the campground. So there's 2 different playgrounds here for kids. Let them burn off some of that extra energy. Also, you've got, again, these shelters, and also these small little shelters here. Those you don't have to reserve, and those are free to use. We've actually made breakfast there before. That was fun. But these bigger covered shelters you do need to reserve. And now we're going to go to the right. We're going to go to the campgrounds and RV parking, and also show you the cabins. In fact, we're going to show you the cabins first, then we'll show you the campground. My parents have stayed at the cabins a couple of times, or I think it's more than a couple now, and they really enjoy them. And we have videos showing tours of more than one of the cabins. So you can go to YouTube, search for Carmen and Brian Myrtle Beach State Park Cabin, and both of those videos should come up, and you can check those out if you'd like to see the inside of the cabins. They do reserve out way in advance, the cabins. I think you have to make a reservation about a year in advance. So definitely think about that if you are wanting to reserve, because they only have 6. That's why they reserve out so quickly. So that's something to keep in mind as well. This parking that we're driving through right now, a lot of people don't realize you can park here. You totally can. And that's another parking spot that is not going to be reservable. So over here to the right is the cabin area. And so this area is just exclusive for the cabin. And so that makes it kind of nice. It's really peaceful and quiet. My parents have seen eagles, bald eagles over here. So it's really a special area for sure. We definitely would recommend the cabins. My parents, like I said, have been super pleased. So here are where the cabins are located. There's one right there, and they have their own beach access over here to the right. So they don't have to walk back to the other area. Here's another cabin. And there is one of the 6 cabins is in the campground area. So it's the only one that's not in this specific area. You can go to the website and you'll be for the state park. So you just look up Myrtle Beach State Park and go to their official website. It's part of the park, state parks of South Carolina. And you can look up which cabin is which and find out which one you'd like to stay in. I will make a comment. The one at the very back of that cul-de-sac, the planes from the airport sometimes path directly over that cabin. And so I would not personally recommend staying there unless you don't mind really loud, large planes. Or if you're staying in the off season, there's not as many jets, big jets from the airport in the off season. But if you're here in the summer, it's going to be nonstop air traffic. And we get the big airlines like Delta, American, so really big planes going overhead. So that's something to keep in mind there. Otherwise, it's quiet and peaceful, exclusive of the planes. So that's a really nice aspect. So we're going to go up here and take a right and take a look at the campgrounds. We have now turned into the campgrounds. There's the ranger station and gift shop to the left. We're going to go over to the right because a lot of this is one way. That is cabin number 6. So that's the only cabin that is in the camping area. So you can see people all set up here camping. And this is a good sized campground, and there's a lot of little roads we can cut through here to the left, and there's a bigger circle if we had gone to the right. So there's a bunch of circles throughout this campground where they have RV parking, they have just straight up camping parking, all kinds of things. They do have bathrooms with showers and that kind of thing here. They also, like I mentioned, have a playground in the campground as well. I will mention that if you are taking a bunch of stuff to the beach from this campground, unless you drive and park at the front, which I think they hope you don't do because there's such limited parking, I would definitely recommend getting one of those wagons you pull behind you with all of your beach gear, because it's quite a walk from here to the beach. It's no big deal if you're just walking, but if you're bringing a lot of stuff, it's quite a ways to the beach from the campground. So just keep that in mind. Bikes are also a great idea. Here, we see tons of people biking here. It's definitely a great place for a bike ride within the state park. I will say this because we've seen people do it. Please do not take your bikes from the state park onto Kings Highway, so exit the state park. That is not safe. We've seen people doing that, and that is not a road you want to be biking on at all. Just take it from us as locals here. We're now going to give you a walking tour of parts that we cannot get to with the car, so we will go through this gift shop and onto the pier and show you that. But first we want to talk about this reserved parking, because this is something new, and it not only affects the Myrtle Beach State Park, but it also affects the Huntington Beach State Park, which is just south to here in Murrells Inlet. It's not far at all. Depending on traffic, you're talking, and where you're staying in Myrtle Beach, you're talking like a 20 to 30 minute drive in the summer. Off season, you're talking a 20-minute drive. So this is a sign for the reserve parking. It starts May 16th and it runs, my understanding, is through Labor Day. Check their website for details. All of this is brand new, so I'm giving you just what I know at this time. Things could change, so definitely check their website. You can also put your phone on that QR code, right? Just pause what I'm looking at right now and get that QR code for more information. But the basic information that we have is the dates I gave you. You're gonna have to reserve only if you want to. This is supposed to be, we're just gonna walk down here and look at the parking. This is some great primo parking. So as annual pass holders, we're a bit bummed that they're doing this, but what it's for is for people who are doing a family reunion or like I said, a birthday party, that kind of thing. And so its ability to reserve a space so that you know for sure you can get in if you come in during peak hours. However, there's a lot of rules around it. You have to make the reservation 3 or more days in advance, but you can't make the reservation more than a month in advance. And that's the time of this recording. These things could change, of course. Also, if all these spaces are not reserved, they're still first come, first served. So if somebody doesn't reserve all these spaces, other people can still use them. When you pay for the parking, it's $5 at the time of this recording, but you are not guaranteed, you're not granted admission. So you still have to pay to get into the park. Park admission is $8 per adult. $4 per child, and then there's some other categories. Again, you can look those up on their website, but that just gives you at least an idea of how much it costs. And so that's why I mentioned the annual pass. If you come several times, if you've got a car full of people, you could quickly, make use of that annual pass, because the annual pass covers your entire car. It's not per individual. So think about it, if you got 4 adults in the car, there's 8 times 4 right there, right off the bat. So you're at $32. Come 2 more times with 4 people, you've already paid for an annual pass. So that's why I wanted to mention it to you. That is one of the bathroom buildings. So with the reserve parking, there's a bunch of controversy. People are upset about it, of course. Like those of us who live here and have an annual pass don't love the idea. But like I said, it's only during the peak season. It's not necessarily going to block all these parking spaces out. And also, if you reserve a spot, you do have to be here. I believe it's by noon. Wasn't it noon? I think it's noon. Check their website for details, but I believe it's noon, or your space becomes a free-for-all after that if you're not here by noon to claim your space. So it's a lot of interesting rules, but so you see how open this area is, and the bathrooms are close by and the beach is close by. So these are some nice parking spots here. Now let's take a look at some other parts of the park. Here's an entrance to another one of their nature trails. These are all connected, so it doesn't matter where you go in. So you can go in over in that parking lot we showed you by the nature center, and some of these are up here near the beach where you can enter. But here's a map of their trails. Like I said, it's not horribly long. It's not a long trail at all. So this is good if you have kids. This is definitely doable with children if they're of a certain age. And they do have some educational placards along the way, but it's really beautiful. I'll just show you a little bit of the nature trail. We actually hike these often. They're beautiful year round. Most things here in the state park stay green even in the winter. So it's a nice way to be able to enjoy nature and see some greenery even in the off season. Good morning. And like I mentioned, it's a good place to bike here. If you're biking on these hiking trails, you definitely want to be aware of like small children. And also, let's talk about pets. Pets are permitted here at the state park. They do have to be on a leash 6 feet or longer at all times. And on the beach, they follow the same rules as the city of Myrtle Beach, even though this is actually technically not in the city. This is part of the county because it's a state park, so it's not in the city. But dogs are allowed on the beach from May 1st through Labor Day, only before 10 a.m. So I think it's like 5 to 10 a.m. And they're also have to be on a leash, of course, and you have to pick up after them, of course, just the usual stuff. But in the off season, they're allowed on the beach anytime. So it just depends on what time of the year you're here. We are back over to the pier area. We wanted to show you these swings. They've got 2 of these beautiful swings here near the parking lot for the pier. There's also one near the cabins. And there is also another one on one of their paved paths that we're probably not going to go on today. So I think they have a total of 4. But these are so lovely to sit in. I mean, look at this view you have. So beautiful. I'm going to step into the gift shop, give you a quick look at that. You pretty much know what's in a gift shop. And walking on their pier is always free. So you've got that going for you here. Obviously, you have to pay to get into the park, but you don't have to pay to walk on the pier, which is really nice. So it is lovely to walk out on their beautiful pier. And fishing, you do have to pay a fee to fish on the pier. However, you do not need I almost said Myrtle Beach, you do not need a South Carolina fishing license if you fish on the pier. If you fish on the beach like that gentleman over there is doing, then you do need a state of South Carolina fishing license. So that's one benefit of fishing on the pier, and that's true of other piers too, not just this pier. So if you're somewhere else in Myrtle Beach, also with this pier, like I said, it's free to walk on, but it's not free to get into the park. So that's the trade-off. A lot of the piers do charge a fee. Some do, some don't. The new Surfside Beach Pier opened. We've got a video of that. Right now they are not charging, but I've heard rumors that in the future they will start charging. So if you want to go check that out, now is a good time. The Garden City Beach Pier is free. So there are some that are free to walk. I'm talking about to walk on, not to fish. You will have to pay to fish. So let's take a look at the Myrtle Beach State Park from the bird's eye view almost. So if you see that pier down there, that is the Spring-Made Pier. Just past it, closer to us, are a couple of hotels and also an RV park. And then after that, you're looking at the state park. So basically where the tree line starts, that's all state park. And right along there is parking. And then you've got this beautiful beach. And then let's look the other way too. Cute photo up here. So then it's pretty obvious. You can see how far the beach goes in this direction. So this section, so right here that's that swing we were sitting in right there. So from there over is going to be that reserved parking. Like I said, doesn't mean it will always be all blocked off, because if people don't reserve it, apparently they're going to have it first come, first serve. But that may or may not be blocked off. So that will sort of block off access to this whole beach. You could, of course, walk over there, but you wouldn't be able to drive your car and park with all your stuff. So as annual pass holders, that's why, whatever you want to call it, year pass holder, that's why we're a little bummed about that, because that was some really nice area to park in, because most of the campers and RVers come out on this side. So this section of the beach is always more crowded. That's a little tip. So let's walk down and check out some people fishing. And I also want to give you some really important information. Part of this pier is still under repair. It got damaged during Hurricane Ian, which was some time ago. We have a video regarding how things looked after Hurricane Ian, and we came here to the state park, so you can check that out if you're interested. Again, anytime you want to search for one of our videos, just search for Carmen and Brian at Myrtle Beach, and it will come right up and then put whatever topic you're interested in. Just go to YouTube and search for that. But it was damaged then, and they had opened it down past the shelter a little bit. And then more recently, they brought the gate back further. So now that entire shaded shelter at the end is behind a fence, and you cannot use it right now. So keep that in mind if you're coming here to fish. Bring your hats, bring whatever you need to cover yourself, put sunscreen on, because they do not have that shady area open. It's blocked off right there at that fence. So hopefully they'll get that fixed soon, because that was actually a long time ago when the damage occurred. Just outside the gift shop and bait and tackle, they do have some proper restrooms, and these are actually climate controlled, air conditioned, and they've got these nice tables that you can sit at if you get a snack there inside the gift shop. And also this is the accessible beach access. It's a nice long ramp with a really low gradient. So if you have mobility issues, this is probably your best way to come to cross over to the ocean. There's a nice long boardwalk that runs along. We are next to the beach, but I'm so short you can't see the beach from here, but there are sections where I can see the beach. So this is a nice area to walk as part of your walk. Like when we come here to walk, we usually walk over the entire park, not just the nature trails, and you can get a nice long walk if you do that. It's pretty easy to get 3 or 4 miles without repeating yourself too much. If you do the entire park, walk all areas, and of course walk on the beach. I mean, there's all kinds of places that you can walk here. So really, really nice. So now we're coming up to a section where I can actually see the ocean a little bit. Brian probably has a great view. If you're not familiar with us, if you're new to our channel, Brian is about 6'3" and change, and I'm a little under 5 feet. So we're have pretty different views. Also, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That really helps other people find our videos, so we greatly appreciate it. You can cross over to the beach right there. If you want to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, definitely hit that subscribe button and you won't miss anything new, because we put new videos out about 2 a week. It depends, of course. Sometimes it's 1 a week, and sometimes it's 3 a week. This is one of the reasons I mentioned it's a good idea to bring bikes if you have them, because they do have bike racks up here at the public beach access in certain areas. So you've got a place to lock up your bike, and they do actually have these outdoor showers and foot wash when you come off the ocean. This is shelter B2. I just wanted to show you one of these shelters up close, and we're also going to give you an insider tip. So this one is reserved here but they are really nice. You're in the shade. You're not too far from a restroom. It's just right across the street from where we are. And you get this amazing view of the ocean. And they've even got, you know, a picnic table that's out here if you'd rather be right out here on the ocean. I mean, this is a primo spot. Beautiful here. Right out in front of that shelter, they have a barbecue. So if you don't want to bring your own portable barbecue, that's an option as well. This is how close to the ocean we are. So this is another one that is not reserved. So this is the part, this is sort of the insider tip we wanted to show you. It's first come, first serve. If it's not reserved, you can come in and enjoy it. And this one has amazing views as well. And no one has reserved it on this beautiful day. And again, you've got the barbecue, you've got some tables outside, you're close to a restroom. So this is a great place to have a picnic or family reunion. Now I would say if you've got a bunch of people coming in from out of town, definitely reserve it. But if you're here for the day and you're looking for some shade, definitely check to see if they're all reserved. Here's an up-close view of the playground that I mentioned when we were driving around. This is just totally open to the public. The one in the campground is for use of the campground, the people who are actually camping. But this one is open. If you've paid to get in, you can use this, no problem. You can bring your kids over here. There's benches, tons of shade, these beautiful live oak trees. And this is actually where we sometimes picnic, because if those school buses weren't there, we would have a decent view of the ocean. You're in the shade, and these are, again, first come, first served. So this is a great place to set up with your family. And now this is the jewel of the state park, this beautiful beach. Even during the busy times of the year, it's usually a little less crowded, especially on that side of the pier. The other side of the pier, this side can get pretty crowded than the rest of Myrtle Beach. So you can see the Myrtle Beach Strip right there. That's how close we are to it, to all the major hotels. So this is definitely a little slice of paradise here, just to the south. It's not a far drive, so even if you're staying somewhere in Myrtle Beach proper, it is not that far away. Like I said, Huntington Beach State Park is a little further, and again, you can search for our video. We do have a video on Huntington Beach State Park if you're interested in that one. And that one actually has bigger beaches and longer trails, so there's a little, it's a bigger park, so that's something worth checking out. That's quite the setup with the bikes and the fishing poles. That's pretty cool. Nice setup there, but I mean, just look at this. It is so beautiful. Also, when you're on the beach, sometimes the planes, they're going out over the beach today, but depending on which way, this is a little tip from us to you, depending on which way the planes are going, sometimes they land coming in over the beach, and when they do that, they are extremely low, so it's really exciting to see. And also, the nearby Air Force Base sometimes there's no longer one in Myrtle Beach, but there's one not too far from here. Sometimes they use the Myrtle Beach Airport for exercises, and so sometimes you get to see military jets fly over, which is really special. If you'd like to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, be sure to watch the video that's on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.